Hi guys, welcome to my update today. It's been a few days on MATIC and we've had some waves develop, so I'm going to show you again where I think it's going, where you can add to your position or where you can get into a new position on MATIC. So if you want to see where I think it's headed, then keep watching. So let's get into the charts here. I have some of these still marked from my last update, but you can see this 2.33 target. It hasn't reached that yet, so there's a few scenarios in play that we need to think about. But what I'm going to assume is that this was the third wave, and you can see it's our longest stretch of green. So even though these waves got kind of messy, for now we're going to assume that this was our third, our fourth, and our fifth. And our RSI kind of aligns with that theory too, because you can see for the fifth wave, it came up for new highs, but it lost strength along the way. So we're gonna assume this is our full wave one for right now. So what we wanna do is we just had our fibs. I'm going to redraw them for you, so you can just get an idea of how I do that. So the regular retracement, we just go in from the bottom of C and then up to where we think wave one ended. On KuCoin, it makes you redo your settings every time, so I'm just gonna show you guys what I do every time. So I come in and I remove the background and I put the prices on the right, and that's all I do for now. You can see this was our first full wave that we have marked, and now we're gonna come down to a wave 2 target, which would be the 618 fib. And this should make an ABC down to 2. So we'll get our ABC marked here, but ultimately should land right here at this 1.95, and that would be a great spot to add to your position or get into a new position on MATIC. So we're gonna mark where we think B is gonna come, and then I'll show you how that aligns with the final C coming down to our target here. So if we go into our, first we're gonna measure up for B. So we're just going to do the regular retracement up from the high and down to the low. So you can see here the 0.5 retrace will be about 2.16. So that just means we came down for A, it's going to come up for a relief and still make a final target down here. For each exchange, you're going to want to actually adjust for where that exchange went to, but on KuCoin, that's where that's at. So I'm gonna just mark that ABC so we don't lose our tracking of that. So from the top, we're gonna measure down A and then up to our B target. And then I'm just gonna throw C right here until we measure it out, and then we can get exact there. So let's measure for C, the trend base extension. We're gonna go from the top of the wave down to A, and then up for B. So like I said, every time I have to redo these settings, so you're gonna get really good at doing these if you chart right on KuCoin. So just like that. Oh, let's get back in there and remove the background. Okay, so we have it marked out here. The target for C is actually this one right here at 1.93, where our larger 2 wave targets 1.95 area. So what that means to me is that this could possibly come up a little bit higher, making this land exactly at our target, or just around there is going to be general support. So these are our buy targets here. If I was making sure I was in a position, I would have my order set at 1.95 to make sure I was picked up. Otherwise, if you're adding, you could add right on the fib or even ladder it down to 1.93 area. But like I said, make sure you are charting for the exchange that you're trading on, because these could be different targets. So that's generally where I think we're headed. And on KuCoin, it kind of aligns with actually where Bitcoin is. I think that it's going to come up and possibly hit a resistance back down to a support. And I've shared that on my Twitter, so make sure you go see that. But this, I think, could align with where Bitcoin is at on KuCoin, and some other exchanges too are a little bit different, but that's where I think we're coming down. So now we're going to get our possible resistances up here. And I do still think if we don't come down to the 618, if we start to come up for a new high here, I do still think 2.33 will be a resistance, because this would probably turn into some kind of fourth wave up to that target still. So still look out for here if we come up, if we don't find resistance at B, if we start to make a new high, 2.33 will be a really good spot to take profit if you're in there. But then let's get our larger third wave target, and you can see where I think it's headed. It'll be 5 waves up for 3, so this will be a longer term hold. But if you're just doing a shorter term, you would want to take profit from here back at B, even last high, or hold up for the third target. So let's get where the third target would be. So we're gonna come in there and just hide it so it's a little bit cleaner for you. Down at the bottom, top of one, and then as we trade and track this, we're gonna pull this down to where it actually lands. But if it does come to target, we're gonna get that target up there. So that brings this third wave target to 2.84. So that is definitely where I think we could be going after 5 waves. Like I said, for more day trading and scalping, these previous resistances are going to be a good spot to take profit as well. And then as we're tracking this, if it only ends up stopping here at 0.5, you know, or this 382, this is where our resistance is going to be. If we come down to these lower ones, the target's going to be up here for a third wave. So that is where I think we're headed. I'll make sure to update this in a few days, and if you need more quicker updates, you can always follow me on Twitter. It's a little bit easier to update on Twitter. But yeah, make sure you're measuring it out for your exchange that you're trading on. But in general, buying here. So let's get our buy box actually. Just like that. So here's our first buy box, and then we'll have sell boxes here for quicker trading right in this area, and then holding for the full 5 waves up to 3. So that's where I think it's heading, guys.